Tune in Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Your Body is Your Pharmacy radio show. Hear from the doctors that were among the first in the U.S. to merge the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and natural medicines with the advances of modern medical science. Listen to pioneer doctors Sodhi, Shailinder, and Anju Sodhi to keep up with some of the latest medical advances and learn from some of the true leaders of Ayurvedic medicines every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. with the Your Body is Your Pharmacy radio show on Desi 1250 a.m. Radio that listens to you.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, your host today on Your Body is Your Natural Pharmacy. We come every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. where we discuss various topics and natural way of healing your body. And today's topic is on detoxification, the spring detox, and it's a very important topic because, whole year, throughout the year, and as we grow old, we deposit lots of toxins in our body, and which leads to the diseases. So this is a topic which we'll be discussing for next 1 hour. And you are encouraged to call us at 1-844-301-1250, 844-301-1250 on Desi Radio. And I have a co-host with me today. Today in our studio we have Dr. Anju Sodhi. Say hello, Dr. Anju.
Hello, friends.
And then I also have Dr. Priya Walia, who is a resident doctor at our clinic at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic in Bellevue. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, and it will be a very interesting 1 hour topic, which we will be discussing in details why detoxification is needed. And, like I mentioned earlier, the detox is an important way of keeping your immune system and your body intact, without any diseases. So this is one way the ancient populations, our elders did long time, and they stayed very healthy. Won't you say, Priya, that, your experience, you have been seeing lots of people at our clinic who's doing detox and all that?
Yes. In fact, we've had a recent patient actually who came in quite overweight and had metabolic syndrome, so that included high blood sugar, high lipids, and the whole gamut of things. And I underwent panchkarma and lost about 20 to 30 pounds, and is on a greater health journey now with diet and lifestyle.
I noticed that his A1Cs were improved as well, and he was very excited. He came from outside of the country. He was visiting us for basically to getting this treatment done at our clinic. And Dr. Anju, would you like to tell something about yourself, and what you do at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic?
Yeah, hello, friends. So we are at the Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Clinic in the Bellevue, and we practice through the mainly the Ayurvedic practice along with the naturopathic approach, and we see patients for the different reasons. I do mostly the women health, children's, a lot of digestive issues, hormonal issues, diabetes, cancer. So basically everything we work with, and this one is the great topic, the detox, because we work through the detox. Detoxification is very important because the toxin accumulates into our body throughout the year. So it's important to do at least once in a year to detox the body, or maybe more, whenever the season changes, spring, fall. So we should be doing detox, and from the Asian times too, in India.
Yeah, so it's one of the things which our elder people did, and we've seen our grandparents doing this, our neighbors doing back home in India, and also in the cultures, the different cultures, the ancient cultures, and the population who, even the American Indians, they had their way of doing detoxification and trying to stay healthy. So the one way, folks, the way I tell you how you deposit toxin is, think about you have bought a brand new home, and you got a totally clean home, and all of a sudden you start bringing good things in your home. You're putting furnitures in, and you're buying the pots and utensils, glasses, and everything, and you just keep accumulating things in the home. And what happened is, after those of you who understand, who have bought the home, fairly soon, in a few years, your home is loaded with all the good things, which all of a sudden are not so good for the home. Won't you say, Priya, that's the case?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So, I noticed that, all of a sudden you think, the clutter is there so much. Even though these are good things, but there is no use of it.
Mm-hmm.
Body has the same thought process, the same way of reacting. We think we are doing good to it by eating all the different types of foods. We, getting whatever things we find is out there, and we eat it either because of our taste developed to the sugars or the salty foods or other fried foods, all that fast foods. So the conversion of that food is on the time. It's not like we are using short term. On the long run, bodies start reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reaction to that is that we start building toxins in the body, and bodies start depositing either cholesterol, we mentioned in the fats into the arteries, or also the other thing we use it, build-up of ama in the body.
That's the Ayurvedic point of view.
Yes, and Priya, don't you think of why don't you tell us a little bit about ama? What that really means.
Right. So ama translates to a general term of toxins. It's the Ayurvedic way of our understanding of seeing how much toxic buildup we have in our bodies over time. And so, like Dr. Shailinder was mentioning, that can happen with various diet patterns and intake. It can also happen with lack of enough sleep or odd timings of sleep. Other lifestyle practices like exercise or lack of, breathing, meditation, having a healthy mind, healthy emotions, that also plays into it.
Right. So if what Priya just mentioned is it could be your mental, emotional, physical aspect which can lead to the ama conditions. And we will discuss that a little bit more. So folks, feel free to call us at 844-301-1250. And we have one call on the line. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Adrian Matidine. I believe the Dr. Priya Wala was referring to myself as the patient subject.
Yes.
It was me, right? Okay. Hi, doctor.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm traveling at the moment, so please excuse me if I'm coming across broken. A great show, and I'd like to first of all acknowledge Dr. Sodhi and Dr. Wala and their excellent team and staff in Bellevue. I traveled over 8,000 miles to come to their clinic. I was referred to their clinic by a former patient who was ill with cancer. I think she lost about 70% of her liver, actually, and had 4 surgeries. And she rescued me. I was morbid obese. My background is clinical biochemistry, so my cortisoid system was totally malfunctioning to the point where I had more estrogen in my system than testosterone. So if you're morbid obese, men who are out there, you notice 3 things. Mammary glands that were not supposed to be there, male breasts, your shape becomes more apple rather than pear, and also your sex drive, sleep apnea, and severe snoring. So nobody can sleep next to you. You sound like a train wreck.
All right. So Priya,
those are the things that
yeah. So Adrian, so the Priya has seen you. I know. So your observation was there a toxic load build up in this case?
Yes, absolutely. It seems that all that you mentioned, Adrian, all the symptoms that you are mentioning are prime examples of toxin buildup over the years. And oftentimes, a lot of times we recognize that as just being increased in weight, but as you mentioned, the change in body shape, the thoughts, your diet, your lifestyle also plays a large role in all that.
So this is one example of ama buildup over the years. And Adrian, so how were you treated? Were you given any panchkarma treatment, or what was done at the clinic?
Yes. I have a lot to say about panchkarma. First of all, I was marketed into panchkarma by massage and sauna. So when you picture us, massage and sauna, you picture it as a nice and soothing, relaxing massage, gentle fingers, and a sauna you think about,
No, the Ayurvedic massages are quite different, isn't it?
Well, let's point to reality check starts when in the first 5 minutes. Let's put it, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. You're going to get punch karma. Trust you me, you won't forget it. And you will love the sauna.
Right.
Trust me, it puts that box in a new meaning.
Right. So, the whole goal in Ayurvedic when we do this type of massages is to do the deep lymphatic drainage because we know where the toxins are deposited. Mm-hmm. So there is not a really very gentle, soothing or baby type of massage. It's a massage which really mean to move it. And we'll be discussing this quite a bit in the last segment of this show today. So overall, were you happy with the whole treatment and the outcome, Adrian?
Well, I gave a recommendation on your website. So let me just summarize what I'm saying. That was where I was at. So I couldn't walk 50 feet without heaving and sitting down. Now I walk 6 miles every day.
Wow.
4 to 6 miles every day, yeah. And I can go up hills, I can climb stairs, I can work at the gym a couple times a month. I'm much more healthy. I can tie my shoelaces. I'm going to see some body parts I haven't seen for a couple of years.
Wow.
I'm getting familiar back. I'm going to see some body parts I ought to have recognized but don't recognize anymore. And I'm getting connected to muscles I didn't know I have before.
Right. So
all in all, I would say, listen, I'm a new person, a new life. I'd like to thank Dr. Wala and Dr. Sodhi and my Balbir and I forgot
Sona.
Sona,
right.
For your wonderful treatment, and Ranjit, and I forgot the name of the guy at the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
Until you give me my bill in such a prompt manner.
Yeah.
The whole team is a team. I don't think it's one person. I think it's synergistic. And you can actually, I'll share something with you. The most important thing is actually feel these people care about you.
Right.
They do care about you.
Well, thank you for all the kind words and thank you for calling us, and we appreciate your call. And, keep doing the good work and keep exercising the 6 miles a day. That's excellent. And I'm sure Dr. Virender Sodhi would be very happy to hear that, the progress you have made. So we appreciate your call, really. Definitely, thank you for calling us.
I'd like to end on this. I think this needs to be evangelized and duplicated in other countries, that has morbidity and obesity problems.
Right.
People in the Caribbean, people in South and the Middle East.
Right.
I think this message needs to go out there, apart from Western medicine. I think there's a need and a niche. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this really, folks, tells you that, there is a way to feel better. There's a way to really approach to get a healthy mind, healthy physical aspect, and emotionally balanced. And that's the basic concept of balancing in Ayurveda. So feel free to call us at Desi 1250 AM, and the phone number to call is 844-301-1250. I'm your host, Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, and we are discussing about the detoxification. So we were giving an analogy of how we buy a home and we put lots of stuff in the home, and all of a sudden we find that with the home we have also bought some good furniture and bad furniture which start acting and start looking like an eyesore in the home. Similarly, when we start eating foods which we think are healthy and not so healthy, all those fast foods or something, driving on the way and grabbing some quick snacks which are fast type of foods and chips and here and there, which are loaded with lots of preservatives. And Priya, I think you probably can tell, you born and grew up here as a child, how many of these type of foods were available to you?
All the time, except my parents hardly ever brought those in the house.
Right.
But I know when even in school, it was available. For snack, we would get chips or popcorn or, candy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing that people did not even realize, the children even don't realize it, that the fresh food versus the all this processed food,
Right.
for them it is just one way of filling their stomach, filling
Yes.
the appetite. So what happens is, when we have all this food which are loaded with the added chemicals, preservatives, the colors which makes them look attractive, these are the things which body realizes it, that these are not the things. It's meant to create a balance.
Yes.
And some of the biggest example I can give you is our drinks, pops, and soda pops, which are low cal aspartame loaded.
Yeah.
And how many studies are there on aspartame, Priya?
Tons. So many.
And all those studies are not positive studies.
No.
None of them really tells they have done any good. In fact, from brain fog to the cancers to GI related issues have been related, and even diabetes.
Yes. Yep.
So, it's interesting for how many years we have been exposed to these type of materials thinking that they were healthy material, and all of a sudden we find, no, they were not really. They have caused the disease, and they have built the toxic load in our system.
Right.
And there is they compromises our liver. And why liver is so important?
The liver's our main detox organ. Liver, kidneys.
Is a pathways to a detox.
Yeah.
So, folks, when we're discussing about the detoxification, once we start building, think about every cell in the body, every organ in our body has its own way of detoxifying. So keeping body in a very well-balanced way is one way to detox yourself. If you think about gut has its own way of detoxifying. If you think about the lungs have its own way of detoxifying. That's why we focus on the breathing part. Every time you do deep breathing and exhale out, you're detoxifying yourself. And the people think about those who are shallow breathers, they are compromising their system. And think about the similarly skin. Skin is the other biggest organ in our body which helps in detoxifying. And the kidneys, Priya like mentioned, is a one way, and they detoxify our body. But I always call that skin is our third kidney. It has exactly similar type of functionalities as kidneys do. And what other organs, Priya, you mentioned about liver, spleen, and all these. Majority of metabolic processes, more than 80% of metabolic processes are dealt by the liver.
Mm-hmm.
So this is such an important organ which need to be kept healthy, won't you say?
Yes. Yes, and in fact, the liver, a lot of times we think it doesn't, it does regenerate on its own. So it has its innate ability, just like the rest of the body, to replenish itself. But when we are giving it the right things, the right support, it's able to do that in a healthy way.
Right. So, the one thing is with the liver is like, no matter what we put in our body, this organ has to deal with all that, beside the intestines.
And all the hormones in the women, it's very important to detox the liver too, for the menopausal women and the women with the premenstrual syndrome. They have to detox the liver too, so the hormones can be processed properly. And folks, you need to know what are the symptoms, like if somebody is having like the unexplained fatigue, allergies, irritated skin, acne, bloated, digestion issues. They all should think, if you are having those type of symptoms, you should be thinking about doing the detox.
And I commonly hear about the brain fog. I mean, how many times we have heard that?
So many.
I think all the patients
they come
become
the one thing,
this,
all these
yes.
people who have a little bit of toxic load, they say, we have a brain fog. We just can't think, or we forget quickly. We don't remember this thing. That's the very first sign that something is going out of whack in your body. If you're having to think about certain things and you're not able to recall things, or you all of a sudden feel like you're fatigued and tired, that's definitely an indication there is something wrong with the body, which body is not able to handle. And that's the one way of your body telling you that you need to do something about it.
So, Dr. Shailinder, you want to tell our listeners what they can do? how to detox the body?
Definitely, I will discuss that. The detox. Folks, feel free to call us at 844-301-1250. Again, 1-844-301-1250, and that's the toll-free number to call us to discuss about the detoxification, or if you have any other question and how we can help you with, feel free to call us. So, the one of the question comes is how to do a detox. What really happens when we have toxic load? We discussed about the brain fog, and some sort of arthralgias also
Yes.
related with the toxic load buildup, and some diseases are autoimmune diseases process. Sometimes we can't explain why these can kick in, and the thing is, it's the toxic exposure. Look around your environment. The environment, how much toxins are really floating in the air. Our waters are not very clean. Our soil is not very clean. Recently, we heard about all the lead issues in the waters, and that's just another thing. And we have, mercury-loaded fishes. People with the tuna fish, which is loaded, and people eat tuna. All these things are making our body toxic. And think about all the things which we think, if you have a little bit genetic weakness in certain aspect of your body, and the disease process takes over. I'm talking about, simple psoriasis, to rheumatoid arthritis, to lupus, and all the even more chronic diseases are one indirect indicator of the toxic overload in the body. And how that, we can clean off is a way how to detoxify the system. In the ancient cultures, we discussed about, how the people in in American Indian population, they had their own way of rituals, doing hot saunas in the old cocoon, where they will sit and celebrate the things and sit in and the sweat. And sweating is a one way to detox. So folks, if you are not sweating, think what is happening. You are not really detoxifying. Won't you say, Priya?
Yes, absolutely.
The one thing which I find is
And the weather is over here, like when we were in India, it's more toxins there, but we are sweating a lot over there too, because the weather is like that.
so
Over here-
warm weather. When you
Warm weather.
warm weather helps you to detoxify. You
but
sweat
in
a lot.
Seattle, we do not have that type of weather. We hardly sweat. So it's very important, like whenever you get chance, sit into the sauna, and that helps to
Also
detox
hot tub
too.
baths
Hot
also-
tub bath and follow
Yes.
with the cold bath is very good too for the body, and you can do it either in the shower or in the hot tub. But it's important to do a cold
And that's
shower
the one way of
afterwards.
doing it.
Yeah,
And also the one way of sweating is exercising.
exercising. That's the main thing.
Exercise and sweat. And I really want to see you sweat. It's one way. If you're not sweating, if you're exercising, you're not sweating, fine, you're doing some workout, but sweating is one way to detox. Remember, like I mentioned earlier, the kidneys functionalities and skin functionalities are very similar way of detoxifying your body. So skin detoxifies through sweating, so keeping the pores open. And when I talk about the pores, guess what? Which population is at risk? Any guess, Priya? It's the younger population, younger female population, which have been using all the makeups.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think I would like Dr. Anju to elaborate a little bit what type of exposures they are having when they're getting the toxic load buildup. We're starting very young. What is the youngest age? What was the youngest age you will have seen the kids doing makeup?
I would say 11, 12.
And I have
Girls.
seen even younger,
Yes.
even some of those lipstick and some of the
And-
rouge going on the cheeks on the little kids have that. And what are those containing?
Yeah, kids these days, they don't know like what makeup they are using. Its awareness is very important. The parents has to help them to choose the right kind of products, even if it's skincare products or like the makeup products. And as soon that I have a teenager at home too, so he's very prone to like, okay, what I want to use, but by the right guidance, he is choosing the right products, and which is very important. And for the makeup, it has to be, or the skincare products, it has to be paraben free, and mineral makeup is good too. Which really helpful without any fillers and the talc and all that really helpful.
So, the one thing which we find is all these creams and lotions are there. Usually, you need to read the label very carefully.
There is preservatives are cancerous too, and it's
Coloring.
Coloring. Yes.
And one study I have found in the breast cancer and all those, the BPA and all that, the parabens, the presence was, there is a direct correlation how these additives and the preservatives which have been added to the makeups or in the food chain is traveling to our vital organs, which are prone to get these type of cancers, and one of them is the breast, and breast cancer is so pronounced, right? In the it's most common cancer.
Very common.
And similarly, the guys are not away from it. Guys are also using some of the lotions and all that, which contains these.
And also the hair products. The guys are using a lot of hair products, and those are very toxic too.
Right. And again,
and we should encourage our kids to use the oils. Coconut oil is great for the hair, or the almond oil is great too. So, but these kids these days, they don't know the
so it's
importance of oil.
Parents, if you are listening this program, it's so important to expose your children to a healthy environment, healthy makeup, and having an open conversation about the food they eat and the things they use in their daily life. A lot of these things which were unheard, about half century ago, we are finding very common. I see all these younger population coming with the fatigue where they should be running out and playing. They come that they don't have energy. And the first thing you find out is their poor diet and the chemical exposures they have. And the food sources have to be very much organic origin in order for us to be doing a detox. The other thing is sleep. It's such an important tool to have a good sleep to detoxify, because I will tell you, you have to have 8 hours of sleep to give a brain a rest, and also giving a body to release the toxins. So,
yes, in fact, during the night, each one of our organs has a certain window of time where it actually replenishes, rejuvenates, and, in other words, detoxifies itself. So, for example, the liver, is at a certain time in the early hours of the morning. The lungs as well, they each have about a 2-hour window. So if you're not sleeping during that time, you're not allowing your body to heal, essentially, and come back to its normal, optimal state.
Right. And so, this is important. Other things which we are exposed to is this time to time. I will say sometimes we are writing prescription as a physician. We end up writing prescriptions for antibiotics or steroids or hormones when needed. When they are needed, that's definitely true. And sometimes painkillers. And there is a lot of, sometimes it's used or misused or abused up to the level. And that leads to compromised liver functions. And once your liver is kind of compromised, the detoxification doesn't happen. And guess what is happening to all that toxin? This is getting stored either in the fat or in the muscle layers, or in our body, even in the brain level. So, having a proper liver functionality and doing a good detox is important to keep our whole immune system running. So, folks, we are talking about the spring detox, and you're encouraged to call us at 1-844-301-1250, where we are discussing about how to do a spring detox. And we will take a little bit break, and we'll be back again on. So again, feel free to call us at 844-301-1250.
Tune in Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Your Body is Your Pharmacy radio show. Hear from the doctors that were among the first in the U.S. to merge the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and natural medicines with the advances of modern medical science. Listen to pioneer doctors Sodhi, Shailinder, and Anju Sodhi to keep up with some of the latest medical advances and learn from some of the true leaders of Ayurvedic medicines every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. with the Your Body is Your Pharmacy radio show on Desi 1250 a.m. Radio that listens to you.
Welcome back to the show, Your Body is Your Natural Pharmacy, and Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, along with Dr. Priya Walia and Dr. Anju Sodhi, and we are discussing in the studio today is how to do a detox. And Dr. Anju brought a question during this time. And what was your question, Dr. Anju?
So I think we need to tell our listeners how they can detox if they are ready to detox the body, which I mentioned earlier. Like we all should be doing twice a year whenever the season changes. So, Dr. Shailinder, do you want to discuss that?
Right. In traditionally, if we go our ancient tradition in India, we did actually seasonal detox, not only twice a year, but seasonal. There are fixed season in India, but over here we supposed to have 4, but sometimes we don't get only. Sometimes we are lucky 2. But anyway, despite what I said, you can do a detox more than twice a year. But twice is the minimum required to do.
Yes. So first of all, we all should be like, if we are having some bad habits of the drinking alcohol or eating fried food or any sweet cravings, or we need to stop that, whatever we do wrong. So
the question is very much brought to is alcohol use, and we know living in America, this is fairly available, abundantly available, and kids are exposed to alcohol at even very young age, even 12, 13-year-old, and I think the first exposure of alcohol to kids is right from the home, and they don't have to even going. So what it entails is, one thing with the alcohol is, when we drink alcohol, it gets converted into aldehydes in the body, and aldehydes are the liver toxic. They really kills the hepatocytes in the liver, So once the liver cells get damaged to the point of no recovery, and I'm talking about the chronic alcoholism, it's like it turns into, we call, very hard organ. And usually we diagnose at that point is end-stage cirrhosis or cirrhotic liver. Though, like Priya mentioned, that it has the power to regenerate. We can regenerate, but if you kill to the point where it can't regenerate, then you are coming to the end stage of your life with that. And the liver is an organ which I really focus quite a bit in our practice. And this is an organ which really need to be dealt with respect, because whole body is dependent on detoxing. Usually kidneys and liver, they function hand to hand. And some of the things the liver does it, like how it will really break down the toxins and bind to in such a way that you eliminate either through the having proper bowel movement or with urination. So that's such an important tool. Won't you agree, Priya, with the how the large bowel functionalities?
Yes, of course. Having a healthy bowel movement is one way to tell yourself if you are detoxifying properly. We have lots of toxins that are eliminated through one bowel movement, and traditionally in Ayurveda we highly recommend that as soon as you wake up in the morning you should be headed towards the bathroom to have a bowel movement, so that you're eliminating for the day, and then you can go ahead with your daily routines.
Right, and the other ways with the having proper urination and the kidney functionality. So hydrating your body daily in more than, and my rule of thumb for hydration is half of your body weight in ounces is a good start, to keep your body detoxifying regularly. So, very few of people I know who are really capable of doing that much in greater Seattle area.
Yeah, and same time, I think we all need to know that if we are using a lot of the household cleaners at home, and those are pretty toxic for us too. So if you decide to detox, we all should be using the alternative, more friendly cleaners. But if you decide to detox, once you stop doing all the bad things, then you need to look around, because we have the environmental toxins too at our home, so we need to eliminate those as well.
So the cleaners and all those things have to be very friendly.
Yes.
Cleaners and
environmental friendly,
and not only environmental friendly but also friendly to our body.
Yes.
As well. So we are doing a good deed to the environment. We remember, whatever we put in the environment, it's coming at us. So one way of doing that is to really making sure we live very clean life, and we are not using very toxic chemicals. Unnecessary cleansing with the heavy duty chemicals are really carcinogenic, which leads to all the different diseases from cancers to autoimmune diseases.
Yeah, then we need to start eating some herbs. We need to detox our liver, like the dandelion, milk thistle. Those are the great, like for
and some of the Ayurvedic herbs is a trifle. You know, trifla is a great formula which I recommend everybody to use. It falls in the category of rasayan, and organic trifle is very good. And one of the Ayush herbs, trifle comes into the handy. You can buy it from stores under Ayurved brand. And these are very much regular detoxifiers in our system.
And I also recommend to my patients you can buy the Livton from the super supplements or the Live It 2 to keep having the liver in the good shape, because we have environmental toxins as well as the toxins from the diet. People do not eat very healthy diet, and also they do not eat organic foods and the organic meat or the dairy products or the eggs, and those are loaded with the toxins as well.
Right. So, sometimes this is one way of doing on your own detoxifying. And, like we mentioned about doing sweat baths and then glacial pools and glacial clay. The mud baths have also been traditionally used for detoxifying. And also doing deep breathing, the pranayama. Ayurveda teaches quite a bit about how to do a good pranayama and detoxifying. And then comes the fasting phase. The fasting is a natural way of doing it. So when we're talking about the seasonal changes, the seasonal detoxifying, we know that if you detox by at least doing a once a week or once a month way of doing a fast, that also helps to detoxify. So regular fastings are encouraged.
Yes, and where we can stop eating the glutens, and we can be on the fruit diet and the vegetable diet too on the regular basis if people want to do the detox on their own.
Okay, so we have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead. You are on a radio show, Your Body is Your Natural Pharmacy, and we're discussing about how to do detoxifications.
Hi, Dr. Sodhi, this is Rekha. I just want to know that if somebody that they have a toxic load, but they do have to go to the doctor, or they can do it at home, how they can determine that they have to go to doctor or they can do it home?
That's a very good question, because when do you go to doctor and when you can do at home? It's a very important question. Okay, you definitely, doing yourself at home is recommended on the general maintenance basis. So when you start thinking like we mentioned about the biggest thing, which is brain fog, or I feel fatigued or tired all the time, I don't feel energetic as I used to be, you definitely need to go to your doctor. And we definitely recommend you to go to the naturopathic or Ayurvedic physicians, and that's one way to at least set up a baseline to come up with a plan to do a proper detox. So Rekha, that question you brought up is a twofold. If there is something going on and you feel that you are not the way you used to, you definitely need to go to a doctor and see a doctor. Otherwise, you guys can do the simple detox at home as a general maintenance, or sometimes we recommend our patient who comes to our clinic at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic in Bellevue, where we do panchkarmas. And then we tell them about how to do a post-panchkarma follow-ups and how to maintain, once they have done the detox, the way they feel the great. One of the caller earlier called that he's able to walk now 6 miles, and he's following all the rules and regulations which were given to him by Dr. Sodhi, and he's been feeling great. So that's one way. So one of the things which we were discussing about, Rekha, is about doing a simple fast that once a week. Like back home in India, we will choose a day and we'll do a detox by just doing a fast. So it's a modified fast where you just only do liquids only, and you break at the end of the day with one meal. So that gives a lot of break time to the intestine to release the toxins. So that's one way of doing detoxification. The other way of doing home detox is saunas and hot tub baths. That's other way to detoxify your body completely. So, folks, when you have a condition and you think you need to do a detox, please do consult with the doctors. And we
As
have
everybody is not recommended for the detox either. If people with the diabetes or they cannot be on the juice diet, so they definitely has to, if they have some concern, the health issues, they should consult their doctor to do the detox, so the physician can guide them accordingly.
So Priya, I would like you to give a little bit detail what we do at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic.
Sure. So usually in our first office call, we take a detailed history, everything from birth to childhood to current state, and looking at social history. So that includes job status, mental, emotional health, physical health, if they're exercising, what their sleep patterns are, their diet intake. And then based off of that, we will do a thorough blood work evaluation if necessary. And then from there, we come up with a detailed handbook. We have a handbook that goes through specific diet recommendations according to your health condition and state of balance. And then also breathing practices, meditation, yoga, exercise recommendations, recommend supplements, and usually also hope to, guide the patient along to panchakarma, which is the main way of cleansing the body and detoxifying to help them bring them back to balance.
So during this, intake, what we usually also notify is we also see that what are the exposures to our patient, those who have come to, which they may not have realized is causing their issues, which causing the disease in them. So knowing those points and pinpointing to our patients have helped tremendously. That happens all the time where we see, and patient doesn't even realize that by just doing a simple techniques, just sleeping a little bit more than 6 hours, and also just doing a saunas occasionally, having massages done, and taking supplements on regular basis, eating healthy food, green leafy smoothies, have a way of detoxifying. So these are the simple techniques which every individual can do. Folks, feel free to call us at 1-844-301-1250, and you are at Your Body's Your Natural Pharmacy, and we are discussing about the spring detox. So one of the Ayurvedic methodology of detoxifying is panchakarma. So, the Priya, I know you were a student of mine at Best Year, and you have taken a tour with me to India,
yes.
And you learned quite a bit about panchakarma.
Yes.
So I would like you to start with what basically panchakarma is.
So panchakarma is, like we've mentioned, it's a Ayurvedic detoxification program, which is considered to be a gold standard treatment, essentially, in Ayurveda, where once we gear the patient up for this procedure process, they're then hopefully able to rid themselves of disease and maintain a healthy state of balance. So it usually is divided into 3 phases. There's a pre-treatment phase, a treatment phase, and then the post-treatment phase, where, again, this is all guided through and the patient is prepped for. So the whole point is to stimulate the layers of toxins that have been lodged into certain areas of the body and are causing symptoms or disease, to help excrete that out of the body. So we prepare.
So in this phase is that where we are trying to stimulate and excrete the layers of toxins built at the muscles and the fat layers by doing it. So this is one way of at the first phase, what we call in Ayurveda as Purva Karma.
Yes, exactly. And so during that phase, we help this process by having patients or individuals intake more oils, because oils is a way to help bring toxins out.
And this oil is an internal, you take it, and also we do
massages.
And that's external oleations.
Right.
So, tell me how the oils helps to bring out the toxins.
So oils, again, these can be either herbalized oils or just simple oils like sesame oil, coconut oil, even clarified butter or ghee, which the thought is that oil, if you're putting in oil, it's going to exchange the fat in the body with that oil. And since we store a lot of toxins into our fat cells, the thought is then to help bring those cells out and replace it with the healthier fat oil that we're intaking.
Right. So there is a way of doing oleation actually. When we're doing internal oleation, we're not talking about folks are like taking 1 teaspoon or half teaspoon. It's a quantity which you really do even the larger quantity. It's like we calling a lubricating the whole gut and joints and every body, because these fats, when we take in excessive amount, they bind to the fat soluble toxins in your system. All those lots of chemicals, they deposit in the fat solubles, and the one way to get rid of is through the fat. And once you do it, and also we try to make sure that your eliminations are up to the par, because fats, when you take in excessive amount, really helps with eliminations, and that also helps to detoxify. And when we're doing external oleations, what you meant by that, Priya?
So external oleation, either during the preparatory phase, you're doing this at home, usually before a shower, and you start with a specific technique of usually just longer strokes of any oil that you have or have been recommended by your physician, and going through each part of the body after spending a certain amount of time at that location, and then you've been oleated more or less. And then from there, you're able to, wash off in the shower.
Right. So doing the self-abhyanga, we call it self-abhyanga. Abhyanga, which stands for the massages, doing on your own every day with the oils. That can be sesame oil, mustard oil, olive oils. According to the constitution, we usually recommend. For knowing your constitution, we definitely recommend you to come to our clinic at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic in Bellevue. And folks, feel free to call us at 1-844-301-1250, and we're discussing right now how to do detox, and we're taking a Ayurvedic detox approach is Panchkarma. And so one of the things which we do in Panchkarma is also called Sneha.
Yes.
We did internal oleation and external, and then massages. So what is really happening with Ayurvedic massages? It's not very typical of a soft, gentle massage like our earlier caller called, and he thought that it will be like a baby massage where will be fingertips will be run through, rather than he was in for a surprise. So what type of massage we are doing in Ayurveda?
It's with a lot of warm herbal oils. According to the patient's constitution, we decide which oils can be used, and then it's Panchkarma. Panchkarma massage will be is done usually by the two technicians. It's a head to toe massage with each part of the body, and followed with the ball of the herbs in it. So it's really helpful.
Right. So in the massages, when we're doing an Ayurvedic massages, these are definitely very deep tissue massages.
Yes.
And we are working through the fat layer, to the muscle layers, to the lymphatic
we want
drainage.
Toxins to go into the circulation through our fat tissue.
Right. And it's one of those type of massages where you really know that you're going to be sore after that. If you don't feel sore, that means you did not get really good massage. Mm-hmm. Especially first 4 or 5 massages, that is the case where people feel more sicker than they come in with.
Yeah, they feel like a flu-like symptoms because their body starts detoxifying, liver starts throwing the toxins into the gut, and they feel, oh my gosh, what's going on? Mm.
So caller, we have a call, and go ahead, caller. You are on radio with the on the show Your Body is Your Natural Pharmacy, and we are discussing how to do detox.
Hello, Dr. Shailinder, Dr. Anju, Dr. Warrior. This is Roseanne.
Hello, Roseanne.
I've been listening to this program. I listened to the 2 before, and as you know, I've had quite a bit of experience at your clinic. And I wanted to say something here, which is that I, heartily endorse and I'm very thankful for all the clinic has done to me. And one thing probably you have not mentioned in the program that I would like to mention,
yes,
which is the importance of the pranayama, the yoga, and the meditation. Because everything that, in my experience, when things go wrong with your body, that is a symptom that things are not right emotionally or psychologically. And the Panchkarma and all the other supplements and everything have to be complemented with working actively on what is happening psychologically and emotionally to the individual. And one of the ways that can be done very subtly is through yoga.
Right, and that's
So
exactly
I'm
one of the
not-
things you probably notice. Right, Roseanne, you probably notice as much. I know you have been to our clinic. One of the emphasis is on balancing, doing pranayams, doing yoga, doing meditation, and these are the things which we recommend to all our patients, but also to the listeners. You are encouraged to do these regularly because there is a lot of good data research available how it maintains the health of your body and mental and emotional aspect. Roseanne really brought a very good point that doing a pranayam simply also helps you to detoxify. Go ahead, Roseanne.
Yes, that's what I'm glad that you are including that as part of the cleansing and healing process.
Thank you, Roseanne.
Thank you, Roseanne,
Thank
for
you.
calling, and it's always good to hear from you. So, folks, we are discussing about the Panch Karma and the massages, which after the massage we do the lymphatic drainage. Like I mentioned, you will feel more sicker than before, and usually then it's followed by the hyperthermia. We call Svedan. And usually we recommend either hyperthermia can be done with the dry heat, wet heat, or infrared sauna, or even with the exercise. And Svedan is another way to detoxify, the toxin, then moving the toxins out of your body.
And also the pores are open at that time.
So, this is a good way to detoxify. Once you have done this Snehan and Svedan, then we also put you through, the phase which is called, there's 5 steps to Panchkarma, right? It's called Vaman, Virechan, Basti, Nasya, and Rakta Mokshana, that's a bloodletting. So Vaman is usually not handled by, Vaman stands for the vomit, to induce a vomit, which is replaced by the fasting these days at our clinic. And then we also recommend purging, where we given a recommendation to our patients with the castor oil, and they do drink and do it. And then following after that, usually Bastis, and we do colonics and the enemas, that stands for the Bastis. The Nasyas are another way of detoxifying, and we do Nasyas as well, which is the nasal oil dripping. It's like also putting few drops in the nostril, and that really, and the nostrils have a olfactory nerve which really connected to the third eye, and which stimulates it, and it's a pineal gland stimulation, and really helps with the allergies, but also detoxifying the nerve pathways. And then the fifth Panchkarma, the fifth step is called bloodletting or Ratmoksha. We usually don't do it, but we advise our people to go and get the blood donated. There are good data available. People who regularly donate blood live longer. And Priya, you probably have recommended quite a few patients at our clinic.
Yes.
Usually people get taken by surprise that, what? You're going to have us donate blood? Won't we feel weak? You only feel weak for a few hours, to 12 to 24 hours, and after that you really make up for that.
Dr. Shailinder, you want to say something about the Shirodhara as well?
Right. Shirodharas are the very relaxing part of the Panchkarma, and this is Shirodhara mean dripping on the forehead. And what it is, it's actually, we talk about the brain fog. It is one way of detoxifying the nervous system. It's very calming. The constant oil dripping on the third eye, right in the middle of the eyebrows, with the either light warm oils, and people usually fall asleep during this. It's a great way to get a good sleep. People who have a migraine, headaches, or sometimes anxiety and panic attack. What else, Priya? Can you add anything else?
Just generalized feeling of not feeling grounded, or your mind is too cluttered. It helps calm the mind. In particular, I know I've experienced it myself and has been quite beneficial. And
right. So Shirodharas are a very good way to
great
get
for the students as well.
Right. It's good for everybody, I would say. So folks, you are listening to the show Your Body is Your Natural Pharmacy. And if you like to come and discuss about the detox and about Panchkarma, feel free to call us at Ayurvedic Naturopathic Medical Clinic. We are located in Bellevue, and our phone number at the clinic is 425-453-8022. And we are teams of doctors, Dr. Virender Sodhi and me, Dr. Shailinder, and then my better half, Dr. Anju Sodhi. We all are trained in Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Medical Clinic. And then we also have resident doctor, Dr. Priya Walia, who is doing her residency with us, and she's a naturopathic physician, have done training in Ayurvedic medicine as well. So we all are part, and we work at our clinic. So again, the clinic phone number is 425-453-8022, and we are located in Bellevue, Washington. And any of your question, you can feel free to call.